Yep. Everybody's happy. I don't think we're gonna be a big construction year.
Really?
Too expensive, too costly, price of lumber.
I know, but I'm surprised Boots over next to us had those
Well, anything 300,000 and above, you're gonna see growth.
built.
Anything lower than that,
They can't afford
You're
to.
gonna lose a third of your money as soon as it's finished.
I had guys just do it there, and couldn't believe the cost.
Well, that's it. Can a contractor even quote a price? Is it, every time they go to the lumber,
Oh, we had one gentleman, brand new house, $20,000.
that went up.
No, that's what he applied for a permit for, $20,000 for a 1,400 square foot house with a full basement,
Yeah, right. He's smoking something.
rejected.
Oh, come on now.
Well,
You know, if you-
the building plans, it said complies with the 2012 North Carolina building code, so you're getting me an answer.
All right, well, it's 7:00. We'll get the show on the road here. Good evening, everyone. The public hearing before the ZBA of the town of Sullivan will be held on Thursday, April 8th, at the town of Sullivan office building to consider the application of Richard and Donna Gilkey, SBL 11.23-1-9 for property located at 2463 Coulter Cove Road, Canastota, for an area variance for encroachment to the rear yard setbacks that then is permitted in the current zoning law of the town of Sullivan. Construct a pole barn. The above application is open for inspection at the town of Sullivan office building during regular business hours. Let's see, was it Kevin? What was your name? David, that's right. I should have wrote it down. Okay, so David, I see the other people, Gilkey's on Zoom there, but David, you're representing him or you're pleading the case here tonight, correct?
I'm the backup.
You're the backup, okay. All right, well, then, we got some maps here. You want to tell us what you're proposing?
To us or to?
To us?
Yes, go right ahead.
Yes, we just want to add a garage to the back side of our place on Coulter's Cove. 26 foot wide, 24 foot deep. Basically, that's it.
Rare.
Yeah, Brian, I saw it. But I didn't bring mine.
Here, I've got it.
Pole barn.
What way is the roof gonna pitch on that pole barn?
It's gonna be the same as the roof that's on the house.
Okay,
It's gonna line right up with it.
fully enclosed with garage door facing the road?
Yes. Yep. It's gonna look just like a regular garage. It's gonna be sided, windows, everything.
Siding's gonna match the house that's there?
Yes.
And how close to the road?
I can't remember his name. What was the?
Larry.
Larry just told us that as far we go. I don't know exact measurement from that point to the road. I think it's like I want to say 16 feet, but I'm not positive of that.
Excuse me. I was down there and it looked to me, okay, like you were gonna be pretty close to the road. How would your garage be compared to other houses and garages along that road? Would you be closer to the road or about the same?
About the same.
There's some that are closer.
Yeah, there's a couple that are down the road a little farther. They're a lot closer than we will be. But yeah, it's like the garage next door to where that's going to be. It'll probably be about the same as the one right next door.
Well, maybe a little bit.
You plan on keeping that little shed?
No, the shed's going to go.
The shed is gonna go.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't have a tape measure, but it looks like I pasted off, and 23 feet is roughly the pins, the stakes that are there, that are marked on each side of your property.
Uh-huh.
And so are you building right up to the property line?
Uh,
Because you have the pins, they're there, but then you have more distance to the road, which you don't own. It's a right of way
yes.
road. But are you building right out to the property line? Is that what you're requesting?
Yes. Yep. That's what
Larry Ball.
Larry Ball is the one we were talking to, and he's the one who said that was the farthest we could go. So
Okay.
that's what we went with.
he wants to go all the way right to the line.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, Cliff, I don't know if that truly is the case.
I don't think
The
this
map's wrong.
No, the map shows it doesn't quite go.
No, but the map is not done by the surveyor.
Right, right.
They took an existing survey
Yes.
and drew the buildings on
Measure
it.
from the house to
Okay.
those pins, and that's about 23
Okay,
paces.
all right, I follow you.
Maybe 23 and a half. And then you've got another distance to the road, which we don't know how far it goes to the pavement from the edge of the garage.
No, I don't know exactly what that is.
Okay. I mean, I'm just concerned about parking a car there. Do you own across the road too?
No,
No, the farmer up at top of the road owns all that.
I mean, are you gonna be creating a parking problem by building this building there? Are you gonna be able to park your cars in the driveway or just in the garage?
No, it's just gonna be in the garage, but there'll be room there for a car. Plus if you're looking at the road, from the roadside to the house, there'll be room on the side of the house to pull down alongside there too.
Maybe one car on the side of the garage.
Yeah, it'll only be me and my wife anyways there.
And it's gonna be pole barn construction
yes.
Yes,
attached to the house with a fire block and everything. I mean, it's gonna have to be code. Is it permissible to pole barn and hook it to a building? Okay.
yes.
Follow the fire.
We're not building it ourselves. If we probably have our RLS probably will perform the work when we do it.
Separation issue disappeared
Disappeared when?
with the new codes. You just have to put a half-inch piece of drywall on.
Okay.
Figure that way, by the time the fire department gets there, the thing's totally burned up, and you just don't go in. Thinking you can go in and have it collapse on
Well,
something.
it's because the ICC put that in there. But then again, the ICC requires sprinklers in all their homes, so. And when they adopted it in New York State with no sprinklers, they couldn't get that out of the code. They actually tried to put the 5/8 back in and were rejected by all the other states.
Can the town have a local code?
You have to request that through the state.
I don't think Mike asked this. Now, the peak of the pole barn, is that gonna be taller than the peak of the house? How are they gonna be in relation to one another?
It might be like a foot taller, and that's about it. Because we always want to go with a little bit higher door, just because I got my truck's a 3/4 ton. I want to be able to get in it.
There's nothing across the street at all.
Well,
Yeah,
no, there's nothing across the street, just open field.
this is what you're looking at. I don't know if you remember the code, but they're right that there's houses all over the place that are, this is the house.
It's not a
Here's the
heavily
tiny
trafficked
shed.
road.
So they just went, and it's.
The only reason you go down there is if you live there.
They're right on they're almost right on it. And the difference is really, as Cliff is pointing out, they got a garage with an Merton.
Or, you
They're really
know,
close to the road.
No, my concern was,
They're
you
right
know,
on the
are
road.
we setting a precedent
We're
for other houses allowing them too close to the road?
So the issue with them going all the way to the road, I think is that there's no place for a car. So they have.
The,
To the edge.
the neighbors that are 6 doors down from you, going towards the dead end, is that a
Yeah.
permanent structure attached to their
Yes,
house?
it's attached to their house. It's been there for a long time. And actually down farther the other way, the guy that redid the house down there's got a shed about 6 feet from the road.
Right. Terry, to your point. So here's where they're at. Right?
Yep.
And I was thinking the same thing, like that's gonna be awfully close to the road. I don't, we've got precedent on allowing that, the variance on excusing the setback, but that's really close to the road. But if you look down,
There's other.
their neighbor right there, I mean, that guy,
Mhm.
that's why I asked if that's permanent or a non-permanent structure. You can see, I mean, that building right
to
there.
run something, right, but
Sure, but it's obviously already been,
Yeah. Goes to the character of the neighborhood question.
yeah.
I was just gonna say, it's basically an old camp road that's turned into,
I don't think it's gonna block anybody's view, but I'm concerned about the parking and the traffic, and you pull in there with a couple cars, and then you're gonna have the road down to one lane and you're gonna have to squeeze through there. That's my concern, just the parking.
So to give you an idea of how much the drawing's off, the actual line would be almost halfway between the existing drawing and the road edge. If the addition was drawn proportion to the structure that was originally drawn in the survey, we have the 45.5.
Yeah.
If you take almost exactly half of that 45.5, add just an absolute smidge more, it puts you almost exactly where that line is for the 26-foot wide line. To give you an idea of what it really looks like,
Yeah. It comes a lot closer to Coulter's Cove.
if that makes sense to you. So I don't think it's quite to the pins, Cliff.
It might not, I didn't have a ruler.
Right.
Paste it off.
Right, but
You know,
I think it's about halfway between what they've got drawn and the pins.
we don't know. And we don't know how far it is to the road there either.
And the biggest problem is the way that we're required to give a variance, we have to know how much relief we're giving. So we've got to know the actual measurement from the road setback to how far out they're allowed to build in order for you to be able to force the requirement.
I go by survey, so they can't go beyond their building line.
But what I'm saying is the survey that they gave us doesn't
It's
show
not
us,
accurate.
it doesn't tell us how much relief they need. So if we grant a variance of 6 inches tonight, and they want a 26-foot pole barn that's gonna put them right on the property line, giving them 6 inches of relief up to 6 inches, isn't gonna do any good. We don't know what the number is.
What he's saying is that this would actually be more like out to here, rather than, we're just gonna put it real close to, this is the actual property line.
26 wide, 23 and a half feet. 30 scale.
The current house is 44.
I mean, on the application, did they say how much relief they're seeking? Isn't there a question on the application about how much relief is being sought?
And he kind of said that he was gonna build it to the pins.
Well, I think
We-
all-
You've got like,
Pins.
you've got like 24 and a half feet to his house from the front property.
So he's gonna get it down to a foot.
So he's got a 1 foot,
Okay.
1 foot offset.
So he needs 29 feet of relief on a 30-foot setback.
Correct.
Okay.
You have lines like this, I think this shows
These
you.
are
Right, they're not guaranteed to be accurate.
I find that pretty darn accurate when I go along.
Yeah, but that's where he would be. So he's gonna be 1 foot from the road.
Yeah.
Other than the parking, I have no problem.
You're saying from-
Go where he sits 40 feet off.
Yeah, she's.
Cliff, you usually are leg sensibility guys. I
It's
mean,
just the park.
to me as a land dweller, that seems just really close to the road.
It's the parking, yeah, it's just.
The survey shows 42 feet from the existing structure to the road.
How many?
42 feet,
I thought you said 24 and a half.
no, to the property line. 42 to the road that's noted on the
The
plan.
pavement though, maybe not the right of way, the pavement, that would be.
Yes.
If that house
Oh.
is, if that house is 44 and a half feet,
Right, yeah.
they are not 40 feet from the road.
I'm saying off that survey.
No way.
That might have been a sunny road at one point.
Yeah, there's no way.
If that's the case, that road migrated north about 10 feet.
Yeah.
This is right there.
Look at
That means you'd have
It's a
19
satellite.
feet in front of the garage.
that. That's a 44 and a half foot house. How far is it from the house to the road? That's not 40 feet.
It's not.
There's some ways.
It's pretty close there. It's pretty close, because when we first measured that off, when Larry told us, he told us that the first time he said we could go out as far as 30 feet. He thought. So we measured it out, and there was probably another 10 feet from there to the road. But then he called us back a couple of days later saying that he misspoke and told us we can only go as far as 24 feet.
Okay.
So that's where we came up with the 24 feet. Larry's one kind of guided us that far as we could go with it.
We're not that versed at it.
Tell you, if I remember well.
Yes, you know what, Mike, I was just playing around with the ruler. If you go from the west front corner of the house out to the line for Coulter's Cove Road, okay?
Pavement line.
Yep, the pavement line,
Yeah.
that's 1 inch and a quarter, okay? Which is exactly, it's very, very close to the 44.5 feet, which is the house, okay?
Did you look at the satellite image?
I'm looking at the survey.
Right, and to see the picture though, it's completely.
Satellite image, that road is, this survey from 93 is not an accurate reflection of the location of the road at all.
Really?
The satellite image, I wonder, is that a boat?
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
It's a little deceiving. I've had a 30-foot boat on the trailer between the road and the house. There's not a lot of room left, but that's where I.
So you got a 30-foot boat and probably another, what, 4 feet with the tongue?
Probably 6 feet, I would think.
Plus the motor.
Yeah,
Plus the motor, and that's plus there's room between the camp and the motor.
that'd be pretty close. Because we couldn't have the tongue in the road, nor would we.
Right, right. No,
But that's now without the pole barn.
Right, right.
no,
He's just saying for a measurement.
Yeah,
I
to give you an
guess
idea.
what's there now?
that's a 30-foot boat with the tongue. You know, so it is close to 40
You
feet.
see the power lines are right here.
Yeah.
And the pins are right in there, so it's right
Mr.
there.
Vanderwerf, is anybody online?
So there's 30.
on
And
this?
No.
then from here to the road, is it 18? You know, I don't know.
You know,
I don't know.
if you go by this scale, it is close to 44 feet.
Right, yeah, yep, absolutely.
Whole neighborhood is
But
living
on
out in
that
there.
picture, just.
My only reservation is how close it gets to the road. The satellite image there looks like it's gonna be awfully tight, but between your example about the boat and the trailer and the measurements that you guys are doing with the 40-foot, numbers and examples say that we're not gonna be that close. But the satellite image,
And it's, well, it's also not setting a precedent for the rest of the neighborhood.
How far is it to
No.
the other, if you look at the satellite, the tree that's to the southeast corner of the residence, I would say the road side of that tree looks like it's probably about as far away from the house as the midpoint of the house. Which means that's about where you would be. I don't think it's that bad. I think you would still, it doesn't look like it on here, because the way the lines are drawn, but I think you'd be able to get a car parked, if you use that as the base, you would be able to get a car in there.
You're saying you just see your garage and the pavement.
Yeah, I think you're still gonna have a little bit.
see if we're gonna the same thing.
That's the house, that's the tree. House is 44.5. If you go to the back side of that tree, I mean, I don't have a thing to measure with, but
I just wanna make sure.
you have a code.
I don't think you can, no. Can they still use that?
Well, no, I mean, I knew the
Right?
password.
Is it
I do.
the corner
It's satellite,
to that side of the house?
Oh,
If
for
that's
the-
his-
for
Yeah.
county GIS.
if that's the
You can
boat,
text phone.
30
call.
Then I can flip it.
Does that boat look like it's 2/3 of the size of the house?
Okay.
ish.
So it gives us a good estimate.
Like on those lines, you can see the power lines right there. Then you go from the power lines.
Yep.
to the road, pull the car in and park.
This is just. Google Maps.
Yeah,
But I don't think it's gonna go past the power lines. I think it's gonna go just about to the power lines. So I think it's gonna stop at about the power lines. So I think from the power lines to the road, you got enough room for a car to pull in sideways.
Sideways.
Sideways, and I think that's what you would have. You have cars parked bumper to bumper sideways, one in front of the tree, one in front of the garage if you had parking.
If it is 30.
They got room to put.
That's perfect.
If he's looking at the boat's probably 6 feet from the house, because we always walk between the boat and the shed.
Pretty Canadian.
Abe? I'm satisfied.
Fair enough.
Nobody else has the boat in their satellite picture? I think, yeah, okay.
I wasn't using, I don't know where I was using, I'm using my drive around thing.
All right, obviously, there's no one in here to speak for or against it, there's no one on Zoom, so there apparently is no concerns from the neighbors. You didn't get any letters or anything?
Nope.
Okay. Does the board have any further questions? We're gonna discuss this tonight and probably make a decision. You can call the office in the morning, or you can certainly stay on and listen to our discussion. All right, I will close the public hearing. There's no other hearings for tonight. Is there any new business, anything on the table for next month as of yet?
Yeah, there's you wanna tell them about that? That's Hunter. The house that got damaged.
Just for everybody's information, John was in contact with me. He was wondering if he could be excused tonight. He didn't think it was a critical one. He had something going on, and I said that it was fine.
I should have told him we have a lot of zoning concerns about the marijuana law here.
Why, you want to start growing that?
No,
Solid.
no.
Well, there is one that we're working on, and there might be another one for a side yard variance on Ramsgate Road.
The one you got, anything earth shattering?
Oh.
Just
This is a house that's on,
Did
Did you say Ramsgate?
Ramsgate,
Is that off Route 5?
yeah, I don't have any paperwork on it, but it's a side yard variance that Larry met the contractor.
and they just want to do a garage. It's like 8 feet to the house next door from the property line, plenty of room. This is a house that's been vacant for many years. Hunter, area 76 Tyler Road, right at the end of the Tyler Road before it goes to the lake. And there were 2 abandoned houses there. They got a variance last time for a barn up to the former
Paper
Paper Street.
Yep.
And then they got a permit to demo the house. They started demo, they were thinking about, well, maybe we'll just keep this house, get a second story on it. And then the winds came and blew it over.
makes your decisions easy.
So now they gotta rebuild the whole house. So what they're gonna be looking for is their rear yard setback, because now they wanna set the house a little bit further back, so we're going towards that paper street again.
Okay.
It's the corner lot on Tyler that's on the opposite side of the lake?
Yes.
Is it a like double length lot almost that covers the
Yeah,
entire?
it's actually
Side
like
of
the
the street.
triple lot on it.
So it goes around it like this
Yeah.
and it goes to Palmer?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and they need side setback variances because it's so tight?
Actually, their sides are good, the front's good. They want to push it towards the back, towards that paper street. Again,
That's the same issue as the barn.
the barn,
That they wanted to
which you
do.
gave them a 0 lot line for on that one.
Okay. Oh, so they don't own all the way to Palmer?
No, there's a paper street there.
In between them and Palmer?
I don't, you might be on the other side of the street. This is on the inside corner.
Southeast.
On the east side of, okay.
Yeah.
Because Tyler goes down and then comes back this way, so it's the east side of it?
Yeah.
Okay, I see what you mean.
On the backside of the close to the road from the lake.
Yeah.
Will the meeting in May be the 6th or the 13th?
It's 13.
13th?
It's the 13th.
All right, Jerry, if you want to go down on our worksheet.
Okay, the secret determination, what type,
It's type 2, it's negative declaration.
okay? Factors considered, whether an undesirable change would be produced in the character of the neighborhood or a detriment to nearby property.
No,
I'm gonna say nope, it's consistent.
Consistent with other garages and outbuildings on the street.
Whether benefits sought by the applicant could be achieved by a feasible alternative to the variance. I'm gonna say no, given the size of the structure that he wants to build.
I guess I would say yes, they can make a smaller structure.
the 23 feet in for the depth of a garage is not, it's not,
That's normal.
that's not big.
Yeah.
You get much smaller than that, there's a lot
I
of.
think I would be short of this.
We're not talking about the proportion of the variance, we're talking about whether or not it can be, the same goal can be achieved by a feasible alternative. I don't think it can. I don't think you can get coverage for your cars there. No, small.
See, I think you make it shorter and then you can park along the side. That would be my argument.
Instead of 26 feet, make it 20.
Right.
Trying to get two cars in there.
And then
No.
philosophically, how is this any different than we got in this big discussion in January about a non-conforming lot becoming more non-conforming lot? And that was a big stumbling block. Saying it's one thing to be non-conforming, it's one thing to exacerbate that problem. Well, if they're only 24 and a half feet from the property line, they already have a rear setback variance, because they're within 30 feet.
There's a variance.
So now we're making it more of a variance. They're already inside the 30 feet.
The conforming issue has, I believe, has more to do with use than it does with setbacks. So the non-conforming use is the one that you're really discouraged from making more non-conforming.
Go.
I don't know if that was our discussion in January or not.
So anyway, Sarah, you're fine putting down what you have. I just
Okay,
state-
whether the requested variance is substantial,
Yes.
Yes.
No question about that.
okay. Would the variance have an adverse impact on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood? No.
I would point out, I would make mention in there that it's a dead-end street with extremely low traffic volume. That structures already exist just about as close to the road. Very close, like properties very close by are just as close to the road as they're requesting to be.
There's a neighbor down the road, the satellite looks like the garage.
Well, I think that it's the double garage looking thing. I think the second one, I didn't drive out to it, but I don't think it's a permanent structure. I think that's a. Like,
That's what I was asking, if it was
Yeah, I
like
think it's a carport. Did you go out there? Do you know if that, the one like 3 from the end? Looks like it's a carport and then a garage. Is that right?
Garage.
It's a double garage that close to the road?
Yeah.
It's actually in the right of way.
What were you guys doing?
That was before. I'm telling you right now, that was definitely before me.
You probably never got a permit.
Correct. That probably was before permits. As long as you're a good neighbor, you don't need a permit.
Okay,
Need somebody to turn you in.
whether the alleged difficulty was self-created, yes, not a determining factor.
Right.
Okay,
How is it self-created?
because he wants to build a bigger,
Doesn't have to have a bullhorn.
he doesn't have to have a garage or a pole barn.
He's choosing to put a bullhorn.
He's choosing it.
Self-created.
He doesn't want to put a bullhorn there, they don't have to be here.
No, but I mean, the hardship is that there's not enough space between the residential structure and the road. If they built it, I would agree with you, but if they weren't the original owners and builders, they've got the structure where it situates relative to the road the way it was. I don't know if that's self-created. John would say it is.
No, you're wrong. I think it is.
I don't agree with it either.
To me, in this case, a self-created hardship would be, we had a garage, we turned it into livable space, and now we want a garage closer to the road. And you go, are you kidding me? That's a self-created hardship. When you have a house that has no garage with only 24 and a half foot setback,
they bought the lot, they knew what the zoning was, the regulations.
They didn't have
So-
to decide to build a garage.
It's not like the seller took the
It's
garage
all
with the
created.
injury sold them. It's not as
We
determined.
don't have to, no, we don't have to grant
Okay,
everybody.
now you feel better that you've been difficult. So
I
we
can
move
see,
on.
I
We can move
see
on.
why you like it. I see why you like it, Stephen, it's fun.
All right. So I'm going to propose this as a motion. The benefit to the applicant does outweigh the detriment to the community and neighborhood, and therefore the variance is approved. With conditions, shed to be removed,
How much of a variance?
1 foot up.
29 feet of relief.
29 feet.
You need to say 29 feet of relief from the zoning schedule. I'll second.
So we have a motion, we have a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Nay.
Nay.
Wait a second.
What did you say, Steve?
I said nay.
Steve said nay. Cliff said nay.
I didn't want to believe it with white in his beard that he became old. In the last 3 years,
It's the parking, and it's tight down there. I just think there's 11 feet on the side of the house, on the side to park a car there. I just think it's causing problems, and I feel bad. I mean, I'm all for people building things and having storage. I'm all for it, believe me.
Yeah.
But this one, just you're going right up to the line, the parking, I just, that's my opinion.
it took a lot, but I think the map that we have wasn't, I think.
We don't have accurate measurements.
I think one of the things that we need to do going forward, when somebody's proposing something, especially if it's this drastic, tell them at the outset, we're not gonna consider it. We're not gonna consider, and I'm speaking for all of you, but I'm speaking for you.
Yes.
Chime in if you agree. I don't want to make another vote on something like this without an updated survey. If they're gonna spend the money that it costs to put a garage on and improve their property that much, and they want that much of a setback variance, they're gonna be, number one, I mean, if they were going to a wooded lot, they want a foot off the line, and there's nobody behind them, it's wetlands, it's whatever. But when you're talking about going to the road and it's only a 1 foot setback, we really need to have an updated survey that's accurate. Because that thing from 93, I mean, the proportions were not accurate on the drawing because it was jimmy rigged on there, and it didn't show us what kind of space you have between them and the road. And I think for me, if I see another one like this, I'm not gonna be comfortable going to vote. I'm gonna tell them to go get a survey and come back, and it's gonna take them another month. How do you guys feel?
No, good point, Mike.
Absolutely.
Just for the record, the county had no problem with this. I didn't see any notations from the planning board,
Remember that.
so there's no recommendations from the planning board. Okay, all right.
I'll make the motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second that.
So we have a motion and a second to approve minutes. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, unanimous. And so we have no other new business or old business. Order 8 is today.
Yep.
Let's see, now, did somebody,
Oh, I signed a bunch of stuff tonight. Luckily, none of it was court.
Sherry, so you got a key to get in here now.
Oh,
So, but it's only activated like the second to Thursday of the month from, so if you want to break in here on Sunday morning, it shouldn't work. But
It won't work.
I haven't tried it, so.
And then we'll see if they work, because the planning boards aren't working.
Oh, yeah.
oh,
Like,
great.
I agree with you, I was struggling with how close to the road it is, because I'm thinking not parking, but more like getting in and out of the garage.
Terry.
Hey, Steve, first, could
But if
you-
that,
are the people still on Zoom?
is actually.
No, they're not.
No, they're gone.
Well,
They
you
got
tell it
I
whether
was
it
gonna
was approved
text
or
her.
not.
Yes, so we approved it, okay? So we got to go ahead.
Thanks for your time, it's very interesting. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for attending.
Thanks for being the backup.
Before we started, I
got back up my brother.
Okay.
I think we need to next time. I think we were able to piecemeal enough that I don't think we made the wrong decision on this one, but we got to have updated surveys.
Yeah, if I had this,
Exactly.
county GIS, I could measure that, just boom.
Okay.
Google is not good because they take them from an angle and
Yep.
they can't.
Oh, okay.
Whereas the satellite one is right down on top of it.
Okay, so we gotta have that up and, okay,
Yeah.
next time. Okay. I'll make a motion to adjourn. I already did.
No, that was just,
That was the minutes.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.